I somehow forgot to hang up my YouTube plaque, the one I get for passing 100,000 subscribers, up on my backdrop of mini decorations. I don't know how I overlooked that, but I shall fix that now. I already have a screw hole here from when I put something in the wrong place by mistake. All right, is it level? Let's hang it up and find out. Yes, it's level, and it's overlapping my little speedometer here. That was a mistake. That didn't help at all. Anyway, hello! It's Sunday for me. I don't know why I've been starting the weeks out on Monday. So instead of releasing Tuesday through Saturday, this week I'm going to release Monday through Friday. What a novel concept. Anyway, let's talk about the Wheego real quick. There, I moved the speedometer. It looks better now. This is from the Lancer, by the way, if I didn't mention that already. The car that I blew up. When I mentioned the Wheego was dead in the last video, I got a couple emails saying something to the effect of, make sure you charge up that 12-volt battery, because if you don't charge it, if the 12-volt battery is not energized, then the onboard car chargers won't be energized. And when I read those emails, I thought, well, no dip. Don't you think I thought of that already? And then last night at some point I realized, oh crap, I thought about it, but I never actually did that. So I came out here and plugged up the 12-volt battery to the charger so it'll get a charge and that the onboard chargers could be energized. The reason I thought I had done this is because I did charge the 12-volt battery, but I never hooked up the car charger while the 12-volt battery was energized. So, whoops. So thanks for your obvious advice. It reminded me of something I actually didn't do that I thought I had done for some reason. Anyway, the situation still looks grim with the 12-volt battery energized. I'll give you a peek at the BMS modules back here. Here's the 9 BMS modules that you can see with their heartbeat LEDs on top. There's 36 cells, 4 cells per BMS module here, and they're telling a real grim tale. The heartbeat LEDs on top are supposed to be glowing blue if the cells they're monitoring are in good condition. You can see one of those BMS modules, this one in the middle here, isn't even on, and this one over here is flickering, which I don't even know what that means, but the rest of them are glowing orange, which indicates a very low charge. So it doesn't look great. In addition to that, the charge indicators just below the charge port are all flashing red. Now the dash on board is reading 63% state of charge, but that number is completely meaningless at the moment because the last time, when the Wheego went insane at the tail end of last year, and I unplugged the 12-volt battery and unplugged the main battery pack to reset everything, that desynced a lot of the BMS modules. So that number started being completely meaningless. When it was completely full, when it was fully charged, it would read somewhere between 75 and 80-something% state of charge. And when it was dead, it read like 60-something. So I don't have a clue what 63% on this actually means, and I don't have the system computer to reset those BMS modules. By system computer, I mean the diagnostic computer that I borrowed from Wheego a while ago. So I don't have a clue what sort of state of charge the main battery pack is actually in. I just know that those BMS modules are telling me things are bad and one of them isn't even on. So that's not great. Now I do have it on the 110-volt charger just plugged into the wall over here. And if you remember, I don't know if I said this in the past, but the Wheego has 3 onboard chargers. It doesn't just have one, it has 3 onboard golf cart chargers. And as far as I know, I'm not sure if this is correct, but as far as I know, if I have it plugged into the 110-volt outlet over here, only one of those chargers is energized. I think that because there's 3 charging indicators and there's a little label next to it that says 110, only one of them will flash, and if it's plugged into 240, then 3 of them will flash. I don't know if that's correct, but anyway, I think I would have a higher chance of the car actually taking a charge if I plugged it into 240-volt. But the problem is I don't have any 240-volt plugs hooked up in the shop here, so I think what I'm going to do is, right now I have the Wheego tucked over, not the Wheego, I have the smart car tucked over here in the corner, just kind of out of sight, out of mind, and it's right next to the lift. I think if I can get the Wheego charged up enough to at least move it across the shop, I'll put it here, put the smart car over in the corner somewhere, and that way the Wheego will be right next to the lift here, because there's already 240-volt power running to the lift here. I can just wire up an outlet temporarily off of this so that the Wheego has a 240-volt charger in the shop, because I don't want to run a whole new 240-volt outlet right now just to charge the Wheego, because it may not May not be charging forever. I was going to do that tomorrow, but why don't I just do it now? And by the way, I already do have a 240 volt charger wired up, but it's in the house, in the garage, and I want it out here. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's go get the keys for the smart car and the Wheego and the outlet out of the house and just do this. Got the key to the smart. Let's move it out of the way first. I assume it'll start. I haven't had many problems with it losing charge. World's most annoying sound there. Hey! It was a little weak, but it worked. Let's just scoot it straight back. All right, now the Wheego. I have pretty strong doubts that this 12 volt battery, let's turn the charger off. The 12 volt battery is energized enough to actually move the car, so I may have to use my little jumper, but that's all right. The screen's oh, no? Okay, maybe it will be able to do this. It says, look. Something fell down. No, I got a warning triangle and a surface wrench. I don't think I'm gonna have to push this, aren't I? Oh well, at least it's a flat concrete floor. Anyway, hashtag Wheego life. If you're wondering why I'm going to all this trouble to save it, it's not because I want to save the car, although that would be kind of nice. It's because if the car is dead, I want to at least try to save the LiFePO 4 cells out of it to use in the bus, because that would save a significant chunk of money. Oh, I'm going to leave it there and put the handbrake on. I don't want to put it in park because the 12 volt battery has to be energized to take it out of park again, which is what I had to do the last time. Okay, now let's go steal some outlets and chargy things from the house garage. Just like to point out the state of the BMS modules after I took the 12 volt battery off the charger. It's looking even more sad now. Now a whole 3 of them are off and 2 of them are flickering. We're in the garage as part of my house right now, and here's the charger. I need to steal the outlet plug and the charger, but first let me disconnect the power at the box. Here? Is that it? Is it all? Yeah, that was it. Okay, let's unplug it. I only brought a screwdriver out here, so hopefully that's all I need. There's the outlet. Anyway, let's take this out to the shop as well as my little charger here, my Clipper Creek charger. I went back in the house and capped off those loose wires with some wire nuts. Now let's see if I can connect, where'd my outlet go? See if I can connect this outlet to this lift box. I may disconnect the lift temporarily, or I may just connect it. This is going to be a temporary connection regardless. I can't leave it like this, but this is easier than running a whole new cable and wiring up a 240 volt outlet somewhere in the shop. So I'm going to do it here. Yes, I have already unplugged the breaker. I think I'm just going to unhook the lift for now. Not going to be hard to rewire it up. And it'll confirm that this is a temporary installation. I won't be tempted to use the lift while the Wheego's plugged in, charging to it. Plugged into it, charging. There we go, that's the word. By the way, Paul Nielsen, if you're watching this, I stole these pliers from your shop. Purely by mistake, because I left them on my dash. So sorry about that. Let's plug in the charger to the outlet. It's upside down. Plug in the charger to the outlet. I cannot let any weight dangle off of this because it's not exactly securely mounted. Let's hang this somewhere. Oh, here we go. Hang it off of this little notch. So there we go. All right, now let's plug in the charger and flip on the breaker. Flashing red. I don't know if that's positive or not. It's doing something. Just for good measure, I'm going to plug up the 12 volt battery to a battery tender because the chargers will de-energize if for some reason that thing loses a charge. So let's do that and we're good. Now again, I don't know if plugging it into the 240 volt charger is going to make a lick of difference over that 110 volt charger that was already plugged into, but it was worth a shot because it's easy. I only had to move a few things around, plug in some wires temporarily. We'll leave it here to chooch for a couple days and come back to it and see if it's made any difference at all. There's only 2 BMS modules that are, well, one BMS module that's unlit and one that's flickering like it's having a seizure. I don't know. If nothing else, I want to save the battery cells out of this for the bus. So they're worth saving for that. I mean, they're worth saving anyway, even if even if it was just to keep the Wheego running. You just pop the smart car back here where the Wheego was. And there we go. That seatbelt warning is the most annoying buzzer in the world. Jeez. All right, now what? I came out here with the plan to just briefly talk about the Wheego and then go work on the bus, and then all that stuff happened. Just goes to show that I'm not planning anything that's happening in these daily videos. Now I'm hungry, so I think I'm going to go in the house and then come back out here and work on the bus briefly. A little bit of a confession. After I went inside, I had one heck of a headache, so I took a nap. I took some medicine, and then I took a nap, and now my headache is gone, and I feel great. Now there's not a lot of time left in the day to do bus things, but that's okay. These things happen, and I've got months to work on it. Anyway, next order of business on the bus is to prep both of the sides here for this new sheet metal that I'm going to put up. And there's actually quite a few things I need to do. One, I need to grind down all of the surfaces to make them flush and to clean them up so that I can cover them in self-etching primer for at least some level of rust proofing. I need to cut more of those little bits of iron angle for behind, blah, 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 blah. Cut more of those little bits of iron angle to put behind here between the vertical struts to give something for the top of this sheet metal to screw into, and for the bottom of the new sheet metal to screw into. There's going to be a nice wall here of screws. I need to burn off the leftover adhesive that was under the edge of the roof there and chip it away because it's old and it's lumpy, and I would rather to work with a clean slate. That may be it. I'm sure there's some... Oh, I wanted to also mount the windows and pre-drill the screw holes so that it's easier to mount the windows and cut the window holes in the sheet metal after the sheet metal is up. That comes later. And I think that's it. What I'm going to do today, since I don't have a lot of time to work with, and the building will have to air out afterwards, is I'm going to burn off all that adhesive under the roof, the edge of the roof, because that's going to be a nasty job. It's going to require judicious use of the blowtorch and the respirator. So I'm going to do that today and then go inside and not come out here until the fumes have dissipated. Yeah! What do you want to bet this is going to make my headache come right back? I bet it will. Oh well, I got to do this anyway. Safety squints engaged. This is awful. I hate this job. Wait a second, where'd my put? There it is. It's a dirty job, but someone's gotta do it. Oh. That little burning, scraping, carcinogen creating job I just did is a pretty good example of what I used to refer to as a zero time task, meaning that it's a job that needed to be done, but when I would think about it in my head, I wouldn't consider the time it takes to do it. I would just not factor it into any time estimations, even though I just spent an hour doing that. I've gotten better at time management over time and time estimations. I'm still really bad about underestimating how long things take, but I stopped calling them zero time tasks, because stuff like that, it takes time and I have to realize them. I'll see you tomorrow.